Well, how's it going, everyone? Namaste, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good something, whatever you believe in. This is a video about my journey of spirituality, and it's a response to Casey Shanna, who asked some questions. So I'm going to do my best to answer. And he, I think it's a she, but I don't know. You asked about my journey of spirituality and how it began and what kind of things influenced me along the way, as well as writing or vlogging, or what do I find to be more beneficial. Vlogging is much easier. If you can build a YouTube audience and vlog and get a lot of views, that's a really good way to go. But my channel seems to be very, very niche. It's kind of like my personal journey. So it doesn't have a ton of views, or at least not lately. But if you can write a book, sell it on Amazon, which is really easy to do, and it gets popular and sells a lot, you'll also do well. So it's a matter of finding something that's compelling for a lot of people is really more the answer I would give. Is if you can find something that works for a broad, large number of people, you'll do well, whether it's your YouTube channel, a book, or anything else, a podcast. So my journey in spirituality, I would say, began at age 29 while I was married at the time. I kind of just had a light bulb moment in my brain and just started thinking about everything, anything and everything. One of the first things I did was research more about the LDS Mormon Church that I was a part of. I'd only ever read scriptures or listened to church authorities speak, and I was curious what other people had to say. And at the time, it was a very kind of scary thing to do, because the church says don't look at any material besides the scriptures, or else you're bad, essentially. And so I'm kind of like a scientist in my approach to life. So I tested that theory, like, well, will I get struck by lightning or struck down if I go see what people have to say about the church? And so I did that, and found a lot of interesting discussions about it, and found some things that weren't so good, that people were just kind of angry. So I didn't look at that, but I looked at the thoughtful things people had to say, where they would present some things and then say, come to your own conclusion. And so I think anyone who presents an argument that way, it's a very powerful thing to do, because you're not trying to persuade anyone. You're just saying, here's some things, here's some facts, here's some historical research or historical accounts and other things, and draw your own conclusion about it. And as I did that and began to look at what I wanted in my life, I realized that the LDS Church was just a piece of my life, and it was not something that I believed to be this absolute truth anymore. Like, it was not this underlying ruling truth of the universe anymore, but just simply an organization, and has good things about it. Definitely gave me a good foundation for my life, being Mormon, just teaching service and a Christ-like attitude, and community, and the golden rule, and things like that. These are all good things for a good foundation for your life. So I'm very grateful for that. But I believe that life's a lot more complicated and gray than what I was taught. I don't think anyone truly knows what's going to happen when we die. LDS Church is just one organization with a theory or a belief system based on that. That's my personal belief. I'm probably wrong. I'm just a mortal man trying to draw my own conclusions about life and reality. So it's very unlikely that I know everything or the absolute truth. That's for sure. So I say that with a very thorough understanding of my insignificance. But I kind of look at age 29 as this light bulb moment, evolution. Some neurons came online. I don't know what happened. I just started thinking very deeply about my life one day and asking questions. And I began making websites and writing and doing a bunch of things at that time. It was kind of just like a critical juncture in my life. I just remember sitting in my basement in my then house and having that happen. It was very interesting. So since that moment, I became very curious in my own development and other people, and eventually, after 14 years, was no longer married, and I would say my second spiritual awakening happened after that over the next 8 years, and especially the experience I had with the first twin flame, if you want to call her that. I don't think about it that way. Just certain people come into your life for certain reasons. As I've been single the last 8 years and dated and whatnot, it's almost like anyone I've ever dated, it never was just a random happening or just a random coincidence. It's almost like there's a master chess player that moves two people together, and then when the time is done, they get pulled apart, whether that's my doing or their doing or both of us. It's just like, and more recently, I've been playing more of a role in the ending of things, whereas in the beginning, people would always just end things with me, and that still happens. I'll date someone and they say, this won't work for whatever reasons. There's a million and one reasons people disconnect. Someone disconnected from me because I did not get the COVID vaccine, and I didn't believe in that, but they did. That's just an example. They didn't say that directly, but I remember having a conversation with them, and it was very clear to me that their energy was put off by my vaccination belief system. I have nothing against COVID vaccine. It's not something I will inject into my body. I want my innate immune system to be responsible for taking care of me. Although if there was a very deadly virus like Ebola that spread and was killing people, then I might think differently. But in that case, the virus is going to not spread because it's killing people. So it stops with the death of people. A very quick death, and the virus can't spread. So a smart virus, a well-engineered virus, will not kill people, but just kind of live inside of them and be a nuisance. So that's what I think. Anyhow, dating has been a spiritual journey for me because I've met certain people that have been very significant. In the last 8 years, 2 people were the most significant, and they drastically altered my life in profound ways, both of them. And then I've had a bunch of people in between those 2 people, still very significant people. This kind of red thread of fate. Research the red thread of fate. I believe there's been a good number of people that have come into my life with that red thread of fate. And it's just like, I could not talk to him for 5 years and then talk to him one day, and it's like, I just talked to him yesterday. So spirituality has been my learnings, my growth and development, and my progression as a human being. That's very spiritual to me. And a big part of that progression has been my dating experiences and learning to become a more centered and grounded individual, learning to draw my strength from within, learning to be detached to be at peace, but also not so detached that I just am apathetic and cold, learning to have a balance of desire and acceptance, trying versus sitting back. Those kinds of things are very spiritual to me because that's hard. It's hard work, and when you're dating and you start to develop emotions, it's very hard to apply those growth lessons when you have an emotional feeling towards someone. So that's my spiritual journey, and then it's my discoveries along the way, my discoveries about myself and the world around me, and the more I discover, the more I realize that I am insignificant. That yes, my life matters to my daughters and a few of you here on my YouTube channel, and maybe some of my family members, but really, like, my existence is pretty insignificant. And I'm at peace with that. I'm not saddened by that. It's not like I'm devastated that I'm insignificant. It's okay. I know I'm also a very powerful human being, a powerful specimen. So I am both insignificant and significant and powerful. I'm both at the same time. Spirituality to me is my growth in ability to see reality exactly as it is without any kind of making it better or worse, just the exact truth, and being able to do that, and then shedding my ego, the shedding of ego, meaning living in such a way that I don't care what people think about me. That's been spiritual, because that's not been easy. It's easy to care what society and people think about us, but as I've gotten older and progressed, I no longer care. I love that I can dance and be silly and goof off and not care what people think about me. This is a growth. So these are just like little software modules that have upgraded me, I guess, if you want to call it that. I'm much more accepting of how things go whenever I'm dating someone. If I screw up, if they screw up, if both of us screw up, if something just disconnects it, I just say that's how it had to be, and then I seek to just be at peace with results of things. And it's I keep bringing it back to dating, but it has been such a big part and growth mechanism for me. It's almost like only certain people will be with me for the long term, and the rest kind of just get repelled, or I get repelled. It's like, it's very uncanny. Even if I have a really good date or two with someone, if it's not meant to be, something will happen to end it. It's just, that's mysterious to me, but there's a lot of reasons for that probably, and timing matters, and there's a lot that goes into that, and there's a fly flying around. So yeah, spirituality is my own growth. How I handle challenges, and can I stay centered and grounded through chaos in life and difficulties. It's my ability to overcome challenges and offer solutions and stay positive. That's what my mom told me was my biggest strength, was my ability to understand situations, come up with solutions, and to be positive through it all. And my mom was a very intuitive and kind, loving, serving person. She sacrificed her life for 7 kids. And she passed away September of 2018. And she's just a good woman, but her health, unfortunately, suffered for many years. So, yeah, spirituality is seeing how strong I can make my physical form. The work and effort and challenge of doing that is another part of spirituality to me. Overcoming illness and surgeries and heartbreak and everything else in life. That's a very spiritual thing. I think challenges help us grow if we will use them for that. I feel spiritual when I'm aligned to what my gut and heart feel. As an example, I was at Harmon's yesterday, a grocery store, while my Tesla was charging, and I saw someone sitting down, a woman sitting down, and I felt the gut said, go talk to her. And it wasn't go talk to her so you can like pick her up and get her number. And it was like, go talk to her. This will help you grow. So I go sit down and talk to her for a few minutes, and then she had to go, and that was it. But the very act of following that gut instinct is a strengthener. It's a strengthener in me. And that Liberty Park video vlog, that was a strengthener. That's another thing to go do more of, is of those video vlogs and just talk to people. It strengthens me to do courage tests and go on quests like that. That's very spiritual to me, because the human element is unpredictable. It is not certain. Who knows what someone could say to me when I go say hi and try to talk to them? That's a spiritual experience, because I'm exercising courage and taking a risk. So that's very spiritual to me. And being a father is spiritual, creator of my daughters and seeing them grow. And so, yeah, spirituality is a lot of different things to me, but largely it's just the growth and progression of things in this life. I'm curious what spirituality is to all of you. What does it mean to you? And thanks, Casey Shanna, for your questions. Hopefully this helped a little bit. And that's all I have to say. I'm going to go get ready to go to the gym now, do some basketball, weights, and martial arts, and do some kicks on the heavy bag. I've got another video coming for that. It's been about 5 months of martial arts now, so I've made some improvements. So I'm excited about that and to show you those. And so that's it. So I hope you all are doing well. Double, live long and prospers. Namaste. I'll see you in the next video.